and he is currently a member of Everest Toastmaster Club. He has served as an Area A3 Division Director, Division A, for year 2019-2020, and he is currently serving as the Area N2 Director, Division N, for year 2020-21. Professionally, he is into the family business of surgical goods, merchandise branding and manufacturing, and trading business of the stationery. Before starting the session, I'd like to inform all the participants that our guest speaker will provide few insight on the topic, and after that we'll be having an interaction session. So all the participants are requested to drop the queries in chat box or raise your hand for the question. Also, I'd like to request all the participants to turn on their video if possible. The virtual floor is all yours. Toastmaster Ankit Goenka.
Thank you so much, Sadiksha ji, and welcome everybody to this event for Rotract. And thank you once again for inviting me to take a session on interpersonal communication and networking. As Sadiksha ji already pointed out, can we have a few videos on so that I can see people who are attending this virtual session, and it would be easier for me to interact with you all and get few insights on how we can move forward with the topic today. With a raise of hand, I would like to ask the first question to all of you. How many of you here present right now? I can see more than 107 participants who are. How many of you know me? With a raise of hand, how many of you know me? I do not see any raised hands. Now, let me give you an idea of how I am. My name is Ankit Goenka, and I'm into my family business, which is located in Bhubaneswar. And I am into Toastmasters for more than 9 years, and my hobbies are listening to music and traveling. Now, when I say this, do you here have a little idea of who I am right now? I'm sure some of you have that idea, and some of you still think who I am. Now, this is what all communication is about. And this is all what in-person communication is all about. It's about you knowing me and I knowing you. If I have to put that in word. The first step towards communicating and networking is how you interact with others. Just now, the example which I gave you is one such example. You might be going to different places, might be meeting different people, but until and unless you do not introduce yourself, or until and unless you do not say who you are, I'm sure nobody is going to know who you are or who the other person is. For you to interact, or for you to break the ice, you are going to give your introduction. You are going to talk to that person, and that is how you are network with that person, or that is how you're going to communicate with that person. The essential part of communication is this. Now I'll be giving my presentation in both the languages. The reason I will be giving in the later stage when I speak, and when I go on speaking, I'll be talking in both Nepali and English. And you might be thinking, why am I doing this? The first reason I'm doing this is because हामीलाई कहिले के लाग्छ कि जो मान्छेले इङ्ग्लिस बोल्छ त्यो मान्छेसँग कम्युनिकेट गर्न धेरै इजी हुन्छ, और त्यो मान्छेसँग बोल्न धेरै इजी हुन्छ. And English is required in every other field that you speak in. If you don't know English, you're not a good communicator, or you won't be able to network with people. तर त्यो कुरा साँचो चाहिँ होइन. When we interact with other people, it is not necessary, or it is not necessary that you need to have, or you need to speak in English with other person. While communicating, there is one thing which you always need to look into. The way you communicate with other person is really important. It might be that you have good English and you communicate with that person in a very good vocabulary and good English. And there might be certain people who are good with Nepali language. And if both the people come together and communicate with each other, it does not mean that they cannot communicate. They cannot have that communication within themselves. It only goes as people can communicate in
Toastmaster
any language.
Ankit.
There is this.
Hello. Sorry to
Yes.
interrupt, but your voice is not quite clear. It's cracking.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Is it audible? Is it
No,
audible?
it's cracking. It's not audible properly.
Okay, give me a minute. Give me
Sure.
a minute. I'll to data. Give me a minute. Till then, maybe as again pointed out by our moderator today, maybe I can see some faces so that I know I am interacting with certain people. I know it's a virtual session, but then we always have our videos on. We can always know who we are and interact with each other, because I am right now knowing more than 100 participants in this platform. So when I go back after finishing this session, I can proudly say that I met more than 100 road tracks and now I'm friends with them. So I'm sure a few of you would like to switch on their videos without hesitation. Let's a session where it does not seem like it's a virtual session, but we are interacting physical setting. Let's try to do that so that it's easier for us. Am I clear now? Is it better than before?
No, it's cracking. I don't know why.
Internet problem.
Can somebody give me a heads up if I'm clear now?
Yeah, you
Internet
are
problem.
audible for now. Once again, I'd like to request participant to turn on their video if possible, because only 5 of us have turned on till now. Toastmaster Ankit, are you there? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So let me first contact our facilitator. So our facilitator is having technical issue, so he is trying to reconnect. So sorry for the technical glitches.
Which session will be held after this?
Abbas, can you please answer this question?
Hello.
I think we have a break after this session.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible now.
Okay, is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And I would like to apologize for the internet issue. As you all know, the internet is not good and it gives you hard time when you actually require it. So I was talking about how you have to communicate with each other, and to break the myth of you knowing English and then only you can communicate is something which we have to take out. That यो होइन कि एकजनाले इङ्ग्लिस जान्छ अनि एकजनाले नेपाली राम्रो they cannot communicate भन्ने छैन. Communication and networking totally depends on how you are with that person and how you interact with that person. If I have to categorize यही कुरालाई in different ways, there are different steps that you can use actually to communicate or to have interpersonal communications with others. The first one is conversing with ease. Now सुरुमा नै मैले भनेको थिएँ कि if you have to start with a small talk, or if you have to go ahead and talk to someone, how would you converse with someone? अहिलेको लागि, for example, let's say if I stop talking and if I have hiccups while I talk, while I interact with you, would you be able to communicate with me the way you would like to, or with the way I want to? No, right? If you have to converse with ease, you have to start with a small talk. A small talk can be as simple as saying a hello to other person. A small talk can be as simple as asking if how was the day, or as simple as how what did they have. There can be different aspects that you can look into, and that is going to break, or that is going to break the small talk that I'm talking about. And the converse, the interpersonal communication, the communication which I'm talking about, can be at ease, and you can communicate with the other person likewise. So first thing is that you have to make sure that you are at ease and you converse with the other person in a way. It might seem as I am right now talking to you all. You might not be able to ask me questions, or I might not be able to tell you the specific things, but that does not mean that I'm not able to, that between both of us. Now, second point, to be act and to have communication, we need to have the person life, not only in professional life, in any well. If I
Toastmaster Ankit, I think you should turn off your video and speak because we are not hearing you properly.
have to buy a car
Toastmaster Ankit.
from one of you here. You are in the automobile sector, and I have to buy a car.
Toastmaster Ankit. Hello. Hello. Toastmaster Ankit, are you there? Are you hearing me?
I guess he's not able to hear.
This season is getting so bored.
Not recording.
Yes. Now is it better? Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yeah, we are hearing you, and the voice is cracking time and again. I think if you turn off your video, it will be clear and loud.
Yes, I have done that. I have done that now. Is it any better now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Okay. So the second point which I was talking about was the being successful negotiator. Now, to be a successful negotiator, you have to have that act of interpersonal communication, which I gave you an example of an automobile. I have to negotiate in a way where you as a person are not able to, where you person understand me and the other person is able to understand me. So these are some couple of things where you can actually include interpersonal. You're not only going to communicate with the other person, but also you're going to help build your network with that person. If I am buying a car today, maybe 2 years down the line or 3 years down the line or even months down the line, I am going to refer you as one of the persons. Okay, this automobile company or this person gave me a good deal. I might give a heads up to someone, some of my friends, and that person can come again and give you and communicate with you in the same way. So this is the second point, and finally, the third point is about coaching. Now, you all know about. I am sure you must all know about what coaching is and how it works. Now, in terms of coaching, interpersonal communication and networking plays a very vital role. When I say this, why? Because while you coach or while you are coaching someone or you are in that aspect, then the first thing that you have to do with the person is to communicate. Now, to communicate, you need to know what are his or her do's or his or her don'ts, or what are the pros and cons that person wants to improve upon themselves. And that can only happen when you can communicate with that person in an effective manner. Once you communicate with that person in an effective manner, the second stage of this comes where you are able to network with that person, where you are able to not only know that one particular person, but you are able to know different other people who are there in that same sector or in different sector. That is going to help you even better. Now, it might sound very vague, so I'm going to cut it down and make it a little more simpler, where I share my personal story of how interpersonal communication and networking helped me come out of my comfort zone while I was in Toastmasters or while even in the present situation. The first story which I would like to tell is, as pointed out by Sadiq Shaji, that it's been 9 years that I have been in Toastmasters, and the journey is still continuing. Now, the first day when I joined Toastmasters, it was a hall filled with people whom I did not have any clue about. I did not know even one person in that hall. I entered that hall in the meeting, and even before I reaching out to any other people, the people who were in the meeting room reached out to me and welcomed me with warm hands. They gave me the satisfaction, they gave me the confidence to stay in the meeting and to attend the meeting. That was the point where I was still studying. That was the point where I had very limited amount of friends. I had very limited access to different things. Like right now, if you ask me whom do I know in the banking sector, I might be able to tell you different other names in different banking sector. But there was a point where I did not know any of such people. There was a point where I did not have any network with anybody. There were only two or three people whom I knew, and that is where my life was revolving around. But slowly, when I joined Toastmasters, slowly, when I started taking up roles, slowly, when I started speaking in Toastmasters, that is where my first step towards confidence started. My first step towards gaining networking started. My first step towards communicating with different people from different walks of life started. It was that point 9 years back where I had two people, and it is this point where I have different people from different walks of life whom I know. If you ask me about banking sector, I might know many people. If you ask me about people in the corporate sector, I might know people in the corporate sector. If you ask me about business sector, I might know people from business sector. Now this is all because of not me interacting with people, but it is all because of communicating and speaking to people, networking with people. That was one very important aspect which I learned not only in my personal life but through Toastmasters, that if you have to communicate and if you have to network with people, you have to speak out. Until and unless you do not speak out, you're not able to go ahead, or you'll not be able to communicate in the way you would want to. So that was one thing which I really gained from Toastmasters. There was one thing which I really gained out of Toastmasters, and that actually helped me improve my interpersonal communication skills and networking. Now I am going to take some of you from the audience and ask you that what do you think, or what is your take on interpersonal communication and networking? What if you hear these two words, and what are the first thing that comes in your mind? So anybody from the audience can switch on their mic and give me an answer. It can be one word answer, then we'll go ahead. I hope we'll have a certain number of answers from the audience so that we can know that we all are listening as well.
Relationship.
Okay, more.
Fellowship,
Okay, can we have more
Conversation.
conversation, relationship, fellowship, conversation? Can we have two more? Sorry, I did not get you.
Bonding.
Bonding, yes.
Communication.
Communication. Now, when I asked you all this, it is not because I wanted to see if anybody is right or if anybody is wrong. I wanted to communicate with each one of you. The five people who spoke today, or who gave me the answer for this, is because I wanted to communicate with you. I wanted to know your views on interpersonal communication and networking. This was first step towards you communicating with me and I communicating with you. Now, let's say there might be people here. I see again, there are 100 plus people. Now, if I have to say, do you know each other well? I'm sure one person knows the other person, but there might not be people who know all. I knowing 100 people, that cannot be possible, because I might know one or two people in the audience, but I might not know all the people. But just like I gave my introduction to all of you, if I ask one of you to give your introduction right now, who anybody who would be interested to give your introduction?
hello everyone. Good afternoon. This is me, Monish Korna from RAC Pradibas District 3290, and I am serving as secretary for 2020 20 and 2021 and elect secretary for 2021 and 2022. Thank you.
See, this is a prime example of how you communicate and how you network with people. Right now, I did not know who one of our road tracks were, but now, if I have to ask or if I have to know who is someone from Bardhi Bas or road track from Bardhi Bas, he is serving as a secretary, he is going to serve as the secretary. So I have certain information already from him. That was his first step towards networking with other road tracks who are present here. So this is how vital, or this is how important communication has been and always has been in different sectors that we have, in different sectors, as I said, or in even in your personal life, it plays a really important role. Now again, let me take this conversation from a serious point to the lighter point. I'm going to ask you one question again, and I'm sure you're going to answer. So you can switch on your audio and tell me if you can answer me in yes or no. Okay. Do you think having alcohol is important to communicate and network with people?
No.
More answers?
No.
Maybe. Uh, Excuse me, would you please repeat the question once more?
Do you think while we network, यस्तो हुन्छ नि कहिलेकाहीँ हामीले सुन्छौँ नि द्याट होइन बसौँ ड्रिङ्क गर्न बसौँ अनि कुरा गरौँ भन्ने एउटा पर्सेप्सन मान्छेकोमा हुन्छ नि कि ओके आज ड्रिङ्क गर्न बस्नु पर्ला एन्ड देन वी क्यान इन्टरेक्ट विथ इच अदर एन्ड म तपाईँलाई अरूसँग पनि भेटाउँछु भनेर त्यो एउटा पर्सेप्सन छ नि. सो डु यु थिङ्क इज द्याट द ओन्ली वे टु कम्युनिकेट or इज द्याट द ओन्ली वे टु नेटवर्क विथ पिपल?
यस्तो है तर सबै अन्ली way चाहिँ होइन. ड्रिङ्क भन्दाखेरि यु क्यान ड्रिङ्क कफी, यु क्यान ड्रिङ्क द कोल्ड ड्रिङ्क्स. यस्तो way, but it's not the only way.
Exactly my point. You gave me a bullseye answer. To communicate, it is not necessary that you have to go and drink alcohol. एउटा हातमा ड्रिङ्क हुनै पर्छ या कोहीसँग भेट्नको लागि ड्रिङ्क हुनै पर्छ. As one of our road tracks said that it can be anything. It can be a glass of water, it can be a cup of coffee, or it can be a normal cold drink. If you have to network with people, if you have to communicate with people, it does not have to be that you need to have a drink in your hand or you need to be there with them and then only interact with them. If I am going somewhere, if I am in a meeting with somebody, I can interact with them with or without the drink. Because my example one of my friends, he does not drink he does not drink alcohol, he does not drink even coffee haru pani khanu hunna. But then for him, I asked him before this session, I asked him what is his perception on this, and what he gave me an answer is ma as a koisanga bhetira chu bhane it does not necessarily mean ki I have to go and sit with that person to have a drink, or it does not mean that I have to have a cup of coffee, or it does not mean that I have to be there with him or her for any particular drink. It can be a normal conversation without anything. It can be a normal conversation without any other matter which is there. So for us, एउटा त्यो अर्को जुन myth हुन्छ नि, I heard few of answers कि yes चाहिँदैन, I heard a maybe, I heard different perceptions from you guys. So it does not mean कि त्यो गर्नै पर्छ भन्ने छ. It is always open to us on how we want to communicate. Now see, there might be people who want to communicate in that particular manner. There might be people who want to communicate in that manner, or they do not want to communicate in that manner. It totally depends on how you take it forward. If म अहिले आज कुरा गरिरहेको छु भने it does not mean कि मैले आज तपाईहरुसँग म पछि कुनै बेला भेट्दाखेरि does not mean कि मैले तपाईलाई ल ड्रिङ्क खान जाउँ न त त्यसो भए, or let's say कहीँ गएर बसौँ न अनि त्यसपछि हामी कुरा गरौँ न के कुरा गर्नुपर्ने. So it's not that. We can actually meet ourselves, do a hi hello, or discuss few things which we would want to discuss and go forward. So that is how we can develop communication and networking. Now, कहिलेकाहीँ अरु एउटा अर्को कुरा पनि के हुन्छ भन्नाले कहिलेकाहीँ what we feel is that हामीले काम गर्नसम्म लगाए it's almost like taking personal benefit, personal gain from your part. So while you communicate or while you network with people, I'll give you an example of my own bachelor's days. So there was this friend of mine, hai na? So our communication was really good, and the way we used to interact with each other was really good. But at a point where I was talking to that person, and त्यो मान्छेसँग मैले कुरा गर्दा 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 the way he was communicating, now there were two ways of communication that he was applying with me. Now the first way of communication was when there were teachers or when there were professors around or when there were lecturers around, उसको communication styles would be something कि मलाई अलि पकाउने फुलाउने और मलाई एकदम राम्रो देखाउने उसलाई चाहिँ नराम्रो देखाउने और त्यस्तो गर्ने. Now the second part is when there is nobody, when there is no lecturer, when there is no professor. At that point of time when I am there with that particular person, the way he used to communicate was very rude. Let's say if you lend money to that person and you ask that money back to that person, then I'm sure as a human being or as a person, if I am lending you money, or if I'm lending you something in return, you're going to ask that back from that person because you are still using that particular thing. But त्यो मान्छेसँग चाहिँ के थियो भन्नाले I used to communicate with that person, I used to give him things, I used to give him books, but when it used to be time जहिले मलाई त्यो चाहिन्थ्यो or when I needed that, and when I went to that person to ask for the same, the answer which I used to get was, why do you need it? Or Madinna, you can do whatever you want to. Now see the two communication styles that he used. The first communication style that he was using was very rude. The second communication style which he was using was very sympathetic. Now your situation ma use one was being alone and one was being around the people. Now the way you interact with people, the way you network with people at different sector or at different point of time is really important. आज तपाईँ एउटा कुनै कम्पनीमा काम गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने तपाईको सीईओ सँग बोल्ने व्यवहार र तपाईको लाइन म्यानेजरसँग बोल्ने व्यवहार या एनीबडी एल्स junior or senior सँग बोल्ने व्यवहार different हुन्छ. However, what I personally think or what I personally choose to say is whoever you are talking to, whoever you are communicating to, the kind of communication that you keep should be same from low level to the top level, even if it is a guard die of a particular कुनै एउटा ब्याङ्कमा या कुनै एउटा कर्पोरेट हाउसमा एउटा गार्ड दाइ हुनुहुन्छ भने उहाँलाई पनि तपाईले नमस्ते गर्नुहुन्छ. And if you meet a CEO and if you see that CEO, उहाँलाई पनि तपाईले नमस्ते गर्नुहुन्छ. The communication or the way you communicate or the way you greet people or anything, it is really important that you do not segment it according to the people. You do not segment it कि मैले आज यो मान्छेसँग यो व्यवहारमा बोल्छु, म चाहिँ यो आज मान्छेसँग यो व्यवहारमा बोल्छु र यो मान्छेसँग यो व्यवहारमा बोल्छु. The way you communicate, the way you interact with people or the way you network with people has to be same in every other sector. It has to be same. तपाईले त्यो डिफरेन्ट गर्ने बित्तिकै तपाईको त्यो पर्सेप्सन नै डिफरेन्ट हुन्छ. आज म तपाईसँग कम्युनिकेट गर्दै छु भन्दैमा you might have a perception of me saying ला आज उहाँको त सेसन एकदम राम्रो होला भनेर सोचिरहेको थिएँ तर खै कस्तो कस्तो भयो जस्तो लागिरहेछ. Somebody might have perception of okay आज त ठिकै भयो जस्तो भयो, or somebody might have the perception of एकदमै आज त एकदमै बोर भयो, आजको सेसन त एकदमै बोर भयो. Now it is all your perception, it is all your perception on how you think, but the way you communicate, I'm just giving my example right now, but the way you communicate in the days to come or the way you communicate in the organizations that you're working in or even in Rotaract is really important. You go and donate and you do different other aspects, so that has to come where you do not take things for granted, or you do not tell people ki okay तपाईले त यो त एकदमै नराम्रो गर्नुभयो, तपाईले त यो त एकदमै खै मलाई त मनै परेन भन्ने. Then there is different styles the way you can communicate. You can tell that person कि okay तपाईले यो जुन डिस्ट्रिब्युसन गर्न लाग्नु भएको थियो, I think यसमा हामीले 10,000 को ठाउँमा राम्रो सामान दिएर we can just add 5,000 and it would look even better. So the way you communicate is really important. And it is not necessary कि तपाईले आफ्नो बारेमा सबैलाई भन्दै जानुपर्छ. For example, as a मेरो introduction सदिक्षाजीले दिनुभयो कि I am into surgical business, I am into merchandise, I am into manufacturing, I am into stationery business. त्यो एउटा पार्ट थियो, त्यो आज मेरो introduction दिनुपर्ने थियो, introduction दिनुपर्ने थियो, त्यही भएर सदिक्षाजीले त्यो introduction दिनुभयो. Even with all of you here who are present right now, I'm sure you would want to be known by different people and you would want to be searched by different people. Now, when I say this, the first thing which I would point out in this aspect is that as a म कुनै काम गरिरहेको छु, as a म कुनै सेक्टरमा छु भन्दैमा I should not be going to different people and I should not be going to hundreds of people or 200 people and saying okay म यो पनि गर्छु, म यो पनि गर्छु, म यो पनि गर्छु, म यो पनि गर्छु, म यो पनि गर्छु. That is not how you network with people. That is not how you communicate with people. There should be a time or there should be a segment or there should be something that you should be able to develop for yourself where people search for you, people know about you. कि ओके यहाँ त हाम्रो यो रोट्र्याकले एकजना रोट्र्याकले त यस्तो यस्तो कामहरू गर्नुहुन्छ, हाम्रो एकजना रोट्र्याकले त यो काम पनि गर्नुहुन्छ. I think he will be able to help or she will be able to help. Why not ask them? Now त्यसले के हुन्छ भन्नाले एउटा त क्रेडिबिलिटी डेभलप हुन्छ. सेकेन्ड अफ अल के हुन्छ भन्नाले by that I am able to know more people, by that I am able to communicate with more people, by that I am able to network with more people. If I know one Rotaract, then I am going to know even 10 more Rotaracts. So as मैले सदिक्षाजीलाई चिनेको छु भने सदिक्षाजीको थ्रुबाट I am going to know about 10 more other Rotaracts. From 10 more other Rotaracts I am going to know about 10 more Rotaracts. So that is how त्यो एउटा सर्कल डेभलप हुँदै जान्छ. अनि त्यो सर्कल डेभलप भइसकेपछि what is going to happen is I will not have to tell you कि म यो गर्छु, I will not have to tell you कि म यो पनि गर्छु, यो पनि गर्छु. You will talk to me or I'll talk to you and we will communicate and network with each other and saying that कि okay अंकितजी तपाईले त यो गर्नुहुन्छ, I think you might be able to help me in this sector, or I might be able to tell one of you saying कि okay तपाईं त यो सेक्टरमा हुनुहुँदै रहेछ, मलाई यो सेक्टरमा अलिकति हेल्प चाहिएको छ, so maybe I think I'll be able to I might need your help on this sector. So when you do this, it not only develops your communication style with other people, but it also helps you gain more contacts, gain more network with other people. Because एकजनाबाट अघि मैले जसले भने एकजनाबाट हामीले 10 जनालाई चिन्छौं, and that 10 people are going to help you interact, and then 10 people are going to give you more network overall. So यो स्टेप्सहरु कुराहरु यो कुराहरु मैले जुन अहिले भनिरहेको छु, these are very simple. It might sound very simple, and यसमा चाहिँ के छ भन्नाले it might sound कि okay उहाँले त खासै त्यस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ त्यस्तो त के भन्नु भएको छैन होला, but then हामीले चाहिँ के सोच्नु पर्छ भन्नाले यही सानो सानो कुराहरुले, यही सानो सानो चीजहरुले चाहिँ के हुन्छ भने धेरै इफेक्ट पार्छ. धेरै कुराहरु हामीले सिक्न सक्छौं, धेरै कुराहरुबाट हामीले त्यो एउटा हुन्छ नि कि यस्तो ओके यस्तो काम गरेको छ यो मान्छेले, सो यो मान्छेसँग इन्टरेक्ट गर्दा राम्रो होला. द वे वी इन्टरेक्ट, हाम्रो एउटा अर्को पर्सेप्सन के पनि डेभलप हुन्छ भन्नाले वी अब्जर्भ पिपल एन्ड वी कम्युनिकेट विथ द पिपल इन द्याट म्यानर. सो अब्जर्भेसन इज रियली इम्पोर्टेन्ट इन डिफरेन्ट एस्पेक्ट. म यसैसँग जोड्न चाहन्छु यही कुरामा कि while you interact with people or while you communicate with people, एउटा point यस्तो पनि आउँछ कि where you need to know कि म कोसँग बोल्दै छु र मलाई यो मान्छेसँग कतिको बेनिफिट हुन्छ र यो मान्छेले मलाई कतिको हेल्प गर्छ. बिकज देयर आर पोइन्ट्स अघि मैले भनेको थिएँ कि तपाईको एउटा पोइन्ट हुन्छ वेयर पिपल विल युज यु फर देयर बेनिफिट फर अ सर्टेन पिरियड अफ टाइम एन्ड देन दे विल लिभ यु. सो त्यस्तो चाहिँ and that you will have to analyze it yourself, and this is also one aspect that you have to follow in this two topic which I am talking right now. Because मैले आज सबै काम मैले आज सबै कुरा एउटा मान्छेसँग गरिरहेको छु भन्नेमा that person might not be the person whom I should be able to trust. Now there might be people who might not give you the right information, who might not give you the kind of support that you need. उनीहरूले आफ्नो बेनिफिटको लागि पनि काम गरेर हुन्छन् या काम गरिरहेका हुन्छन्, and then when सबै कुरा भइसकेको हुन्छ you get treated differently. मैले अघि example दिए मेरो साथीको, that I was being treated differently in two different aspects because उसलाई lecturer-बाट एउटा सर्टेन केही चाहिएको थियो, त्यही भएर उसले मलाई राम्रो देखिरहेको थियो. बट when he was alone with me, त्यति बेला उसले चाहिँ मलाई के गर्यो भन्नाले हेला गरेर कुरा गरिरहेको थियो, very rude तरिकाले कुरा गरिरहेको थियो. So you need to analyze when you communicate with people, you need to observe, you need to see कि कस्तो मान्छेसँग बोलिरहेको छु. If that person is going to be your support system, if that person is going to tell you, okay, this is right, this is wrong, this is not right, this is not wrong. If त्यस्तो मान्छे छ भने you would want to develop more communication or more network with that person. But if त्यस्तो तपाईको त्यस्तो मान्छे छैन या त्यस्तो मान्छेबाट ठ्याक्कै उल्टो छ भने, then you would not want that person to be in your friend circle or to be in your professional circle or even in your personal circle. So this is really important. I will sum up this now, and after that we'll take up the question and answer session. Sum up गर्नको लागि चाहिँ म के चाहिँ भन्छु भन्नाले अहिलेको जस्तो सिचुएसन म अहिलेको कुरा नै लिन्छु. And frankly speaking, there are different sectors, there are different speakers who might have come and given different कुराहरुको बारेमा. Even right now when I am speaking to you all, I am trying to develop my interpersonal communication. अहिले मेरो क्यामेरा अफ छ, you might not know म कुन सिचुएसनमा छु, या I am, if I'm nervous or if I'm not able to speak in the way I wanted to. But then एउटा के हुन्छ भन्नाले you learn at every step that you take. For me, while I joined Toastmasters, म again Toastmasters मै जान्छु. For me, while I joined Toastmasters, first I did not have any clue. मैले भने I had few friends, I had a couple of friends in my hands, and those were the friends I used to be with. For me, my routine was from 6 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the college, and त्यसपछि go to a Toastmasters meeting, in between do nothing, go to a Toastmasters meeting and come back. But that changed over time. That helped me change over time. And one of the credits I would give is to Toastmasters, because त्यहाँबाट मैले धेरै कुरा सिकेँ, त्यहाँबाट मैले बोल्न सिकेँ. सबभन्दा ठुलो कुरा म भन्छु, त्यहाँबाट मैले बोल्न सिकेँ. आज मैले जे जति बोले, जति मिनेट पनि बोले, I would say कि मैले त्यहाँबाट बोल्न सिकेको छु. आज 9 वर्ष पहिला मलाई देख्नु भएको भए तपाईहरुले सायद मैले 2 मिनेट पनि बोल्दिन थियो होला, and this session would have ended. तर आज त्यही एउटा प्लेटफर्मले मलाई हेल्प गरेर I've been able to come this long, and I've been able to speak and interact with you all. So त्यो एउटा एकदमै राम्रो एस्पेक्ट छ. Second of all, त्यसबाट मलाई के पनि भयो भन्नाले I was able to develop राम्रो network with people. Now when I say network with people, I know people from banking industry, I know people from business background, I know people from corporate houses. Now त्यो कसरी भयो? That happened due to the reason because I was there, I was taking up different leadership roles, I was communicating with certain people throughout my Toastmasters journey. Even now I have been communicating with different other Toastmasters who are there. अनि त्यसले गर्दा चाहिँ के भयो भन्नाले मेरो आज नेटवर्क यत्रो ठुलो भयो कि I can go to a certain person and I can ask for their suggestion. Even if as मलाई Rotract join गर्नु छ फ्युचरमा भने, I can come up to anybody of you and ask you, okay, what is the process like? Because now I know you, because now I have communicated with you, because now I can network with you. This is really important. So यो तीनटा एस्पेक्टलाई म सम अप गर्दै चाहिँ के भन्छु भन्नाले, it might be in your personal life, it might be in your professional life, but your communication and networking, these are two very vital steps which I would say you have to take. Just like एउटा बच्चालाई हुन्छ नि कि you have to take every step, you make that bacha learn every step, and then they slowly start to work and they learn how to work. So the communication and networking is exactly like that. You make sure that you take the first step, and to first step you also make sure that you are taking the second step with the first step so that it is in line. So with this, I would like to end my session here, and I would like to open the floor for question answer. And if there is any question, I would be more than happy to answer your questions. Sadiksha ji, would you want to take up the questions, or should I take up the questions from the floor itself?
I'll take the question. First of all, I'd like to thank you so much for the insightful session on interpersonal communication and networking. I hope it was beneficial for all the participants who are present here today. So once again, I'd like to request all the participants to drop the question in chat box or raise your hand if you have any. If you are not able to unmute yourself, please drop the question in chat box. I will read that question to our speaker.
Just to add on, if you have questions, I would be more than happy to answer. If you do not have questions, it might यसको चाहिँ दुईटा अर्थ लाग्न सक्छ। एउटा कि त मैले धेरै बोर गरेँ अनि सबैजना सुत्नु भयो, कि it was understood to everybody else. So do not think कि मैले कुनै question सोध्छु and that might go wrong, or that might not that might be very silly. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask any kind of questions that you have. I would be more than happy to answer that.
Okay, we have a question in chat box from Rotractor Mila. She mentions that while communicating, small talk pachiko arko state becomes very difficult. Also, when people become aware, यो त small talk पो हो भन्ने जस्तो, then awkwardness just doubles. Please share some tips.
यसमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्नाले, थ्याङ्क यू फर द क्वेसन रोट्र्याक्ट मिलाजी. एज यु पोइन्टेड आउट, यस, एउटा म आफ्नै इक्जाम्पल लिन्छु यसमा. अगेन एउटा सर्टन पोइन्ट थियो वेयर फर मी टु इन्टरेक्ट विथ एनीबडी, त्यो एउटा गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो, धेरै गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो. अनि स्मल टक भन्दै बित्तिकै तपाईँको हाई हेलो अनि त्यसपछि सक्यो. त्यसपछि आई वाज नट एबल टु भनौँ न, आई वाज नट एबल टु कम्युनिकेट विथ द्याट पर्सन. न awkwardness हटाउनुको लागि चाहिँ के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्नाले, if I get your question correct, awkwardness त्यो yes, we are aware about people अनि के कसो छ, अनि त्यो awkwardness डबल हुन्छ भन्दैमा. सो त्यसमा चाहिँ के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्नाले, the small talk that we start is hi, hello, कस्तो छ, how have you been, हजुरको आज दिन कस्तो थियो, या. सो द्याट एउटा त्यो पार्ट त सक्यो, स्मल टकको पार्ट त सक्यो. एन्ड देन एउटा पोइन्ट आउँछ वेयर बोथ अफ द पार्टिज आर साइलेन्ट एन्ड दे डु नट नो वाट टु स्पिक अपन. नाउ टु टेक दिस स्मल टक इभन फरवर्ड, म चाहिँ के भन्छु भन्नाले, यसमा चाहिँ वाट यु निड टु डु इज यु निड टु मेक स्योर द्याट यु टक विथ द्याट पर्सन. फर इक्जाम्पल, आज म कुनै बिजनेस गरिरहेको छु या आज म कुनै सेक्टरमा छु भने, यु स्टार्ट आस्किङ मी questions about my own sector. For example, let's say तपाईँ कुनै सेक्टरमा हुनुहुन्छ, सो I'll start asking you, ए तपाईँ त रोड ट्र्याकमा हुनुहुन्छ, सो रोड ट्र्याकमा अरू तपाईँ के गर्नुहुन्छ, रोड ट्र्याकमा कस्तो कस्तो खाले कुराहरू तपाईँले ल्याउनुहुन्छ, या तपाईँको आज यसपालिको प्रेसिडेन्ट को हुनुहुन्छ र तपाईँ कुन पोजिसनमा सर्भ गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ. सो सी, मैले अहिले नै तपाईँको यो 3-4वटा क्वेसन डेभलप गरिसकेँ. सो यो 3-4वटा क्वेसन तपाईँहरूको इन्टरेक्सन हुने बित्तिकै चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्नाले, what will happen is, मैले त एउटा सोधेँ, वन्स मैले सोधिसकेपछि तपाईँले पनि मलाई एउटा क्वेसन ब्याक गर्नुहुन्छ कि. क्वेसन ब्याकको मतलब, यु माइट वान्ट टु बी इन्ट्रेस्टेड टु नो मोर अबाउट माई बिजनेस. यु वुड वान्ट टु बी इन्ट्रेस्टेड टु नो कि ओके तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ, तपाईँले त रोड ट्र्याक त जोइन गर्नु भएको छैन, सो आर यु लाइक इन्ट्रेस्टेड इन जोइनिङ रोड ट्र्याकमा, या त्यस्तो के. सो त्यो भइसकेपछि चाहिँ के, त्यो अक्वर्डनेस पनि हट्छ, अनि द हुन्छ नि म मान्छे अगाडि पछाडि अवेर हुन्छु भन्ने जुन एउटा हुन्छ नि त्यो पनि हट्छ एन्ड देन द इज अफ टकिङ विथ other people become easy. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Milaji.
Thank you so much. So road tractor Aishma Shah has been raising the hand. Can you please unmute yourself and put your question?
Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful session. मेरो question चाहिँ अब जस्तै यसै कुनै इभेन्टहरू अर प्रोग्रामहरू अर्गनाइज गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ चाहिँ अब मान्छेहरूसँग चाहिँ कम्युनिकेट गरिरहेको हुन्छ होइन तर आफ्टर सर्टन पोइन्ट ends right there, okay, and it seems like we are using that for like benefit for like so just not to let the relation it stay for a long time. How to maintain such relationship so that पछि
आयुषजी तपाईको स्वर ब्रेक भयो. I was not able to hear it clearly, so maybe Sadikshaji, were you able to hear it clearly? Can you like ask or can you repeat the question, Ayushaji?
Okay, am I audible clearly?
Yes.
Okay, जस्तै यो हामी इभेन्टहरू प्रोग्रामहरू अर्गनाइज गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मान्छेहरू चिनिरहेको हुन्छ त्यहाँबाट अनि पनि गर्छ राम्ररी बट आफ्टर सर्टेन टाइम चाहिँ अब त्यो सिकिसकेपछि चाहिँ इट इन्स राइट जस्तो हुन्छ कि अनि इट्स मोर लाइक युजिङ देम बेनिफिट जस्तो होइन यस्तो जस्तै यो नेटवर्किङ भइसकेको कुरालाई चाहिँ हाउ टु मेन्टेन इट फर अ लङ टाइम सो द्याट इट डाइज राइट देयर त्यो नेटवर्किङ चाहिँ हुन्छ नि कसरी मेन्टेन गरिराख्ने मलाई
अहिले पनि ब्रेक त भइरहेको थियो. इफ आई अन्डरस्टुड द क्वेसन करेक्टली अलिकति यु मिन कि कुनै एउटा इभेन्टमा मान्छे भेटेको छौँ अनि त्यो मान्छेसँग नेटवर्किङ पनि भयो, त्यो मान्छेसँग कम्युनिकेसन पनि भयो, त्यो कम्युनिकेसन र त्यो नेटवर्किङलाई पछिसम्म चाहिँ लग्नको लागि चाहिँ के गर्न सकिन्छ भन्नाले was that the question that you were asking, Ayushaji?
Yes, certainly. How to maintain to doesn't seem like benefit use
would you be able to write it in on chat? मैले एकदमै ब्रेक नै भइरहेको छ हजुरको भोइस चाहिँ.
Yeah,
I'm not able to understand
that on chat box. I'll communicate the question because your voice is cracking time and again.
I see question from Samita. Samita Gurung. Yeah. Samita Gurung जी को question पनि देखिरहेको छु मैले यहाँ एउटा. How to increase our public speaking skills and एकछिन है. How to increase our public speaking skill and be more confident while interacting. If you want to increase your public speaking skills, I would say that join Toastmasters because as I said अघि नै तपाईलाई कि 9 वर्ष भइसक्यो join गरेको अनि the present Ankit that you know and the past Ankit that you would have known is totally different. The person I am right now, the person I was before is totally different. Now, if you have to increase your public speaking skills, the first thing that you need to know is that you have to come out of that comfort zone that you are in. And to come out of that comfort zone, you have to interact with people. You have to talk with people. It might be even in your family, even in your personal circle that you are not able to interact with your peers or friends. हुन्छ नि एउटा सर्कलको एउटा certain circleमा हुन्छन्, there are 10 friends and you are the only one who is quiet and the other 9 people are speaking. So for that, what I would want to increase your public speaking skills and be confident, I would say first be a part of हुन्छन् कुन कुन लोकेसनमा हुन्छन् कसरी हुन्छन्, so you can find information in that, and while you go there you will be able to see more and more on what it is like. So that is something which I would suggest for now, and then maybe once you join Toastmasters, I'm sure you'll be able to know more कस्तो के छ अगाडि भनेर.
Okay, thank you. We have one more question from Dr. Pramisa Palde. Sir, is there any pattern of networking or reaching out to people, especially seniors, whom we have never known in a very convincing way?
Sorry, what is the question?
Is there any pattern of networking or reaching out to people, especially seniors, whom we have never known in a very convincing way?
प्याटर्न भन्दा पनि यसमा चाहिँ म के भन्छु भन्नाले तपाईँको अघि मैले भने जस्तै तपाईँको द वे वी नेटवर्क or द वे वी कम्युनिकेट विथ डिफ्रेन्ट पिपल यस एउटा लेभल अफ कम्युनिकेसन द वे यु इन्टरेक्ट विथ your family members is different, the way you interact with your friends is different, and the way you interact with your colleagues is different, and the way you interact with your seniors, as you have your question, is different. Now यसमा चाहिँ म के भन्छु भन्नाले now firstly चाहिँ म what I personally suggest is to attend events where you can meet these kind of people, especially seniors, as you pointed out. For example, there are so many startup events, there are so many events done by different organizations wherein you see the keynote speeches by our people are very
Toastmaster Ankit, are you there? Hello. Toastmaster Ankit. Hello, Toastmaster Ankit, are you hearing me? Our speaker has disconnected again due to the technical issue. He is connecting. Sorry for the technical disturbance.
Am I audible now? Once again,
Yes,
I'm really sorry for the connection. As अलिकति problem नि दिइरहेको छ connection. So yeah, I was talking about in a convincing way भन्ने चाहिँ हुँदैन. When I was answering one of the questions, convincing way भन्ने चाहिँ हुँदैन. You have to approach certain people you talked about, हैन? As I said, events attend गर्नु. Events मा you'll not only find big names, you're going to find names like different bank CEOs हरूलाई तपाईले भेट्न सक्नुहुन्छ. You will find people from different other organization, and that is where you actually get to interact with those people. त्यसमा चाहिँ even I would say I was benefited by certain things, certain events, and when I went to, if I have to give you an example, when I went to one of the events called Yes Summit around 2 or 3 years back, I was able to meet people from Bangladesh. I was able to meet people from Maldives. I was able to meet people from our own country here, the bank CEOs and other people. So I was able to know and I was able to interact with them. Now, when you talk about me knowing them, yes, I know them, and at a certain point, I also interact with them. So for you to get along and for you to know अगाडिको कुराहरू, I would say कि go and attend events, and if you want to interact not only with seniors, I would say, but interact with different people from different walks of life, try to attend these kind of events and be there in that event and ask as many questions as you can, because that is one step that you can use towards communicating with people in convincing manner. Do we have other questions as well? I see one question. I'll give me a logout voice, but I see earlier a question: how to be a part of Toastmasters? I think there is a process that you have to go through, but I'll keep it very short. Again, I would say if anybody of you are interested in joining Toastmasters, there is a page called Toastmasters in Nepal भन्ने page छ. So त्यहाँ चाहिँ तपाईले different हाम्रो in Nepal मात्रै there are 44 clubs. So the clubs are divided into 3 different sectors. One is the community club, where anybody can join. People from all walks of life can join. Second is a corporate club, where people from the corporate sector can only join. For example, there are clubs in banks, Lakshmi Bank, Sanima Bank, to name a few. So उनीहरूको employees join गर्छन्. And third is the educational club, where educational club as in Kathmandu University, KCM and SIAM. So there are different colleges that have Toastmasters club. So उनीहरूले आफ्नो students अनि आफ्नो facultyहरूको लागि पनि खोलेका छन्. So if you want to know more about Toastmasters, and if you want to know how a Toastmasters meeting runs, I would say go and like Toastmasters in Nepal ko page, and you will find different meetings ko links haru, Zoom meeting ko links haru पाउनुहुन्छ तपाईले त्यहाँ. So attend few of them, get a hang of the different meetings that you attend, because हरेक meeting को हुन त तपाईको same हो. The way the meeting is run, it's the same pattern, but सबैको आफ्नो आफ्नो एउटा सबै क्लबको आफ्नो आफ्नो एउटा feel हुन्छ. So you might want to attend दुई चारवटा क्लबको meeting and then see how you like the meeting, and then maybe if you like one of the clubs in Nepal, maybe you can approach the vice president membership, as we call it in Toastmasters, for your membership in the future days, and you can be a part of Toastmasters, and that way you'll be able to know more about Toastmasters and what you can do.
So we have a question from Road Ganesh Sethi from Rotary Club of Kathmandu. अहिले चाहिँ कम्युनिकेसन गर्दा मिस्टेक भयो भने कन्फिडेन्स लेभल डिक्रिज हुँदै जान्छ, यसलाई कसरी रिकभर गर्न सकिन्छ, सरी ओभरकम गर्न सकिन्छ?
यो एकदमै मलाई हुने नै कुरा हो. आई वुड से कि म ठ्याक्कै यो जुन क्वेसन अहिले जुन सोध्नु भयो नि, ठ्याक्कै म यस्तो नै थिएँ हैन. अनि व्हाट आई युज्ड टु फिल वाज, मैले एकचोटि बोलिसकेपछि मैले राम्रो बोले कि नराम्रो बोले कि अब त्यसलाई कसरी ओभरकम गरौँ, मैले त अलरेडी बोलिसकेको छु, ला यो त गल्ती नै बोले जस्तो लाग्यो भनेर एउटा त्यो हुन्छ नि दिमागमा, हो यो सो त्यो राइट र रङ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हुँदैन. मेक स्योर द्याट यु हेभ टु बी कन्फिडेन्ट के. ओभरकम चाहिँ त्यसलाई कसरी गर्न ओभरकम भन्ने कुरै हुँदैन. वाट यु स्पिक यु सुड बी कन्फिडेन्ट द्याट यु आर स्पिकिङ द राइट थिङ. मैले टोस्ट मास्टर्स अगेन टोस्ट मास्टर्सको कुरा नै ल्याउँछु. मैले सुरुमा बोल्दाखेरि चाहिँ मलाई के लाग्थ्यो भन्नाले मैले स्पिच दिइसकेँ. मैले स्पिच दिइसकेपछि अब अगाडि के हुन्छ, ला मेरो स्पिच त बिग्रियो, अब मेरो इभ्यालुएटरले के भन्ने होला भन्ने एउटा त्यो थट प्रोसेस हुन्छ. तर मैले चाहिँ के बुझेँ भन्नाले while you speak with confidence. Yes, मैले certain पार्टमा मिस्टेक गरेको होला, but when you speak or when you network or when you communicate the next time, you are going to keep in mind कि ला ओके फर्स्टमा मैले यो कुरा ठिक बोलेको थिएन, सेकेन्डमा मैले यो कुरा ठिक बोलेको थिएन, सो मेबी आई वान्ट टु improve upon those things and then come back to the part where I speak with confidence. So right or wrong भन्ने केही हुँदैन. र यसलाई अब तपाईलाई लाग्छ कि ला मैले सही बोले या मैले गलत बोले भन्ने जस्तो कुरा हुँदैन. when you speak, just speak with confidence. That is what I would suggest you, Rotract Ganesh.
Thank you so much, Postmaster Ankit. It's almost 1 hour that we have been in this session, so I think it's time to wrap up. Once again, I'd like to thank you so much for the wonderful session. I'd like to request technical team to present virtual token of love. Can you please share the screen?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sadiksha ji, and thank you so much each one of you who were here.
On behalf of organizing committee of Virtual Rotaract District Assembly, I'd like to present this virtual token of love to you. I hope you accept this.
So much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Finally, thank you so much, Toastmaster Ankit Goenka, for being here, and all the participants for being so interactive during the session. So have a great day ahead. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you. And if you would want to know more about Toastmasters, please let me know, and you can take my number from Sadiksha ji. I would be more than happy to give you more insights on how it works.